Hey everyone, this is Elias from Metra Media, and today on Project Miata, The Answer, we're upgrading some sound. Let's get started. So let's get started. A couple of things. I've already started with the passenger. That has been completed just to make things easier for filming on what I should expect. And of course, I should have expected the inevitable. So a couple of things. The Miata already had speakers. It had these Alpines on there and a couple of things. So they are 5x7s. I was worried of, wow, did I just buy speakers to basically make it a lateral performance in sound? But I didn't. So a couple of things with these guys. They are a 5x7. They have 75 RMS watt power range and 230 watts of peak power. These guys that I bought, the JBL Stadium 862Fs, they have 300 peak and 100 RMS. So we do bump a little bit in RMS, but we bump even more on peak. Couple of things as well. These are a little bit bigger. I already tested them out in there. What is hindering me right now is my head unit. I got these in hopes to slowly upgrade things, and I may go, actually, I'm pretty much gonna have to go amp powered on this because they are just asking for more power. A couple of things. So the things that I kind of was hoping wasn't the case. So I bought this adapter. And this adapter is to go from your connection of the car into your typical speaker connections that you get with a speaker system like this. So a couple of things. The previous owner, yeah, he chopped the equivalent that goes from the car to this. He chopped it up and he put wiring on it so that he can connect it to this, essentially making a permanent version of this. But I wanted to keep things clean. I still wanted to keep that connector. So I may, just as a kind of pet peeve, find the equivalent, solder it onto the car system to just have this plug available. But we may have to run new wiring because this wiring is, at least what's in the car, is really, really tiny. So we have that. The other thing with it as well, with the speaker, and I'll go ahead, you get some nice sticker goodies and things like that. Nice little protection on it. And we'll kind of put this aside. So with this being a little bit bigger at the 6x8 instead of the 5x7, you are going to have to cut a couple of tabs. You'll need to cut that tab and this tab to fit inside of the door card or the door panel, which I'll show you basically the things that I went through, the problems that I went through to make your life easier. But yeah, this one, you can spin the tweeter to point it whichever way you want. And it also has a little pad in there. So it's a -3 dB pad in case the tweeter is a little too harsh. For me, I left it on. So I left it at 0 dB. So we're not attenuating or reducing the tweeter itself. But yeah, some of the tools we'll use, you'll need a pick. So the picks that I use for the other radio install, we're gonna need that. Long Phillips screwdriver, gonna make your life easier. Don't go with a short one because it stings a couple of screws that are kind of fairly deep inside of the door handle. And yeah, again, to keep things clean, definitely pick this up. But yeah, we won't be unfortunately needing this. And a little trick that I've come up with, not come up with, but others I've seen use is use paper and a marker and literally do the outline of your door card so that you know. And then we go front. So tweeter, speaker, handle, and yeah, that pretty much does it. Reason why? Finding screws is going to be a lot easier when you have something like that and knowing where things go. So when I take a screw out, I can just go ahead and just pop it right in there. And I can even just put a circle. But essentially where we are going to find our things is on the side here. We'll have a little screw, a little trim piece, which we'll see. Another one down here. So one at the bottom. And then we have 2 screws, one up here and one down here for the door handle. So the door handle is going to have 2 screws. And then I forgot the door handle. We have a little screw in the door handle. So that's going to be basically where we're going to attack the pieces to get it off. So we'll definitely take a look at those. And again, once I take them off, I put them there because the ones on the side are different. Oh, we also have one more, forgot. One more of those plastic trims right in the front there. And the important reason why I'm doing this is because it's very important that that one stays there because it's a little bit longer than the ones we have on the side there. So very, very important. But I think that kind of gets it going. Oh, you may want to wear gloves as well because the doors are going to have this like sticky, like it's almost like tar on that plastic cover for it. And man, it got on my hands yesterday and it was such a pain to get off. So yeah, gloves. If you're someone that just hates having stuff on their hands, go for gloves. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Now, one thing I forgot to mention with the JBL speakers, so these are the Alpines first. You'll see that the connector in there is going to be for the adapter like what I had purchased. So that basically a small one, you would essentially just kind of plug it in there and you're set, right? And then that goes off to the car. So that's for the Alpine. For the JBLs that I bought, these kind of work with screws. So it's a little bit more, again, more performance, I guess you could say, or just higher, better, just different really as well. So it's a different connector. So I will have to, again, for the time being, I'm gonna actually, so the equivalent of taking kind of these plastic things out and the metal, just put them in there and have it there. Now, when I do get the amp, I'm gonna be getting the bare wire and just putting it in there, screwing it in, and you're good to go. So something I kind of ran across and should have really checked because essentially this would have been pointless for me. Not really actually, because I did take off the plastics and I was able to put them in there, which we'll have to do with the ones that are in the Miata already. So here we have the door. Now, again, we can see my diagram. Yes, very accurate. But essentially, the important thing was, this is actually my second drawing of it because when I was watching another YouTube video on how to take off the door cards and how to do the speakers, thank you other YouTuber, I was doing just this. I drew it and I saw, okay, perfect. He took this part out, screw there. So it makes your life easier. So if you guys want to just kind of pause the tape right now, yes, the tape. I meant the YouTube video. You can pause it now and use this for your reference. And there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the pick. We have the little things on the side. Let me move my paper there. So it's literally just a little thing that you apply there and you're set. So the way that this one works is literally it's on the door and you'll see that. And again, this is why the pick is so important because it's so easy to get into that tiny spot. You don't want to do this with a screwdriver. If you can, get something like this because a screwdriver can be a little too, I mean, really fine screwdriver, flathead. But a pick like this is definitely useful. I'll be putting the link of this in the description. So we have the top one, then we're gonna go ahead. Bottom one is pretty much off because it doesn't work because we have a broken door card there. And now we are going to do the one over here, which again, like I said, this one is going to, actually it's right here. Yeah, so it's right here. And like I said, this one is the important one because it is larger than the others. So we have that there, we put it there on the diagram, and now we'll get with the screws. Now, the other thing I want you guys to see is, because some of these two are a little difficult to kind of see, but you'll see the angle that I kind of put my screwdriver on to help out. So this one is literally at this angle, just kind of at a 45 to the door itself, because that's where the screw is going to be. And this one is going to be very similar. So you're almost at a 45 degree to the door, and you turn it. Now, what's great about this is there's no fear of the screw getting lost. So even if it falls, it's going to fall in this little door here. So not a problem. Don't worry about it. So this one's a little bit trickier. You're going to want to really get down and see the angle of the screw to get your screwdriver in. I was trying like this just to not block the camera, but yeah, it wasn't. I was struggling with it. So yeah, definitely get under there, look at where the screw is placed, and then again, just take off that screw. Make sure you take this off first. You need to pull the little plastic piece on the door handle, or else it won't come out. There we go. So very important, almost forgot that. And we'll put it on our diagram. And now just go ahead and lift it off, and you are set. And there's that tar stuff that I was having so much fun taking off yesterday. And now I have to get my pick to basically release my tweeter. Now, there is going to be a connection on the tweeter, which I'll show you guys, but you'll have to, with the pick is going to be the best way to just kind of squeeze it in and slide it down. Now, with this being the driver door, we have the door lock on this, so it is just a little switch there, which we'll take a look at. But essentially, there is our door card. Yeah, there's our door card, and let's take a look at some of the things in here. So there's going to be a little part there, which with your pick, you're just going to go ahead and push it in, and it'll literally kind of slide out on its own. So that's where you're going to want to put that pressure. You'll see that little nub there. You put it in there, and you're set to go. For this is a little bit easier. For the item of the door lock, it's literally just a matter of pushing it down and pulling it out, and you're good to go. So here we have the Alpine speaker that the previous owner put. So it's just a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4 screws as far as the larger one goes. If you have the adapter that I do, you really don't have to take off the outer ones, just the inner ones that you have in here. 1, 2, 3, 4 should be good, so that you take the actual speaker out and then put that adapter that I showed you to plug it in there. We're gonna have to do the outside one because this guy has some adhesive between the plastic and the speaker itself, so we have to kind of take that out, and then we also have to deal with the wiring situation, which we'll show you. Okay, so now with the last screw, I'll just obviously be careful that the speaker doesn't fall out, and want to show you guys what I mean. Yeah, so it's a little in there. Okay, and this is what I'm dealing with. So what would have been an easy connection on here, and then obviously with my speakers dealing with that, I now have this little wire that we have to deal with. Essentially, if you buy this, then that goes in there, and then these go off to your speakers. So that's where it goes. But yeah, we don't have that now, so we have to make do with what we have. So I'll go ahead and essentially have to take off the speaker from that adapter. So now that we've taken off all the screws, we can go ahead and again, this one is kind of stuck. So I will get my pick and just kind of go around to break that seal Just be careful not to break the plastic holder itself, or even in this case, damage the speakers, because these speakers are still good. They're still good. They just weren't what I wanted for my project. Plus, like I said, we're going to be upgrading to an amp to help out with better sound. Yeah, okay, there we go. So we separated them, as you can see, and I'll just go ahead and disconnect the wiring that this has. Disconnected. And now we have two different pieces. Let's go ahead and set up the JBL on this guy. So after removing, this is what my screw diagram looks like. I should probably get bigger paper, but yeah. So basically we have the two plastics, the screw with the cover right in there. We have the top screw, bottom screw, somewhere there. Oh, it's still in the door card, and then the outer screws for the speaker, and then the inner screws, and then that one little piece there. But yeah, that's what we got. Giving you guys a closer look at the wiring again. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's what we get when we buy 20-year-old cars. And these guys, I'm gonna have to take off that plastic right in there, or that plastic insulation thing there, so that I can essentially screw the put these guys in that screw area for the connectors of the JBLs. So that's where that's gonna go, and that should give us basically power to the JBL. Again, this is just temporary. I'm gonna have to definitely see how I can get this wired up with brand new wire. I can see already we have a connection spot right in there. So basically run it through and go all the way. Probably have an amp back here. We got to see, or maybe closer to my passenger. Have it closer to my passenger so that you can hook it up to the battery in the back. But yeah, let's go ahead and get that plate adapted. Okay, so here we have the bracket that is on the car itself. We have the JBL and we have the Alpine. So we can see that with the Alpine, when you put it in here, it doesn't really come too far out of the outer area, minus this tab, but this tab was cut off. So I'm assuming previous owner had the same issue I dealt with yesterday, which we'll see how we can determine that and before you start really cutting up your speaker. But we have this, and there you could see it's definitely sticking out significantly more. So the way that I figured that out was I got the door card, which I'll put right here. So we have the door card, and now we essentially can kind of see already we have a outline of a 6x8 speaker, or the speaker itself. So we'll go ahead and place it in here, and I could immediately tell, you see how that's kind of flapping there? That's because those tabs are in the way. So we'll go ahead and cut those off, and then we should be good to go with the door card in the way. So we'll just remove this, and like I said, it's just a matter of putting those screws in to the bracket itself. Just put those screws 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the car 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, very important, there is an up, so it does say up in there. Yeah, there. So it says up, so you got to put it that way. You'll put it up, you'll see what it means, and it's basically so that the speaker area down back here is set up correctly. Now be careful if you're running wires, that when you go to screw this down, it's not pinching anything. This one that I took off the Alpine for the driver's side was pinching the cable or the wiring. So just be careful with that. Just a little heads up. So let's go ahead and get this guy in. As you guys can see, I had to kind of crimp the metal pieces and of those connectors on the wire and just put them inside there because of how this is connected. Again, this is temporary. I wouldn't be surprised if this lasts, well, actually I'd be surprised if this lasts more than 6 months before I come back in here and just redo everything. But just want to get these speakers. Was not expecting this, was not expecting, you know, this basically, and was not expecting this connector either. So just be sure when you buy your speakers that, yeah, that's the case. Oh, and I just realized I forgot to cut these guys. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And then literally just a matter of, again, up is gonna be like this. So up is literally here. This is up for your speaker. Well, there you have it. That's pretty much what you need to do in order to get speakers into your Miata. So just a quick recap. This is vital. So draw something up like this to help you place where the speakers are. Yeah. If your speaker connections have been hacked up already, do us next owners a favor and use one of these. That's what they're there for. We have that. And yeah, we had the JBL Stadium 862F. That's what we have in the car now. They are being kind of underpowered by the head unit, so we'll look into a amp on there and possibly a subwoofer. So we'll take a look at that. And like I said, these guys were still great, but I felt like I still needed more, and I still feel like I need more, which is why we're gonna amp those up. I probably could have amped these up, but I was not aware these guys were in there till, yeah, we opened it up. But that pretty much does it. Oh yes, and get yourself the pick. I'll be adding this to my list of in the description, because these guys are gonna save you from those little plastic tabs on the end. But that pretty much wraps it up, guys. If you have any questions, if you have a set of speakers that you like, a subwoofer, enclosure is really where I'm kind of looking into seeing what we may go with, let me know in the comments. Remember, find the right gear. See ya.